Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'm still worried for Alexandra Dutton in 1923 Season 2, despite her good news in Episode 5. While Alexandra Dutton, Julia Schlatfer, finally got some good news in 1923 Season 2, with a kind British couple taking her home with them, I'm genuinely more worried about her than ever. In 1923 Season 2, Episode 5, Only Gunshots to Guide Us, Alex works food service on the train after she is beaten and robbed by a pickpocket in Grand Central Terminal. When the 1923 character arrives in her sleeper train car, which she shares with an Irish woman and her children, Spencer's Brandon Sklenar wife realizes that her ticket does not include food service. After she begs to be fed, Alex is offered a serving job in the train's meal car in exchange for her own meals. Alexandra of Sussex accepts the offer, humbling herself to quietly serve others as the train chugs closer and closer to Montana. However, Alex's journey gets worse as she encounters an unruly train passenger who sexually assaults her while she is on her shift and almost gets her incarcerated for defending herself. Paul, Augustus Prue, and Hillary, Janet Montgomery, come to Alex's rescue, sticking up for her and offering some respite, but the development ultimately concerns me. A key detail about Alex's journey concerns me. 1923 is shorter than Season 1. Rather than 8 episodes, 1923 Season 2 will only have 7 installments. In addition, the Yellowstone franchise has confirmed that 1923 will only have 2 seasons, meaning the next couple of chapters are the last. Alex only has 2 episodes to make it from the Midwest to the middle of Montana. That is worrying, because she just took a huge detour to Winnetka, and I'm not certain her new friends can solve her real problem. While it's great for Alex to get help, I wonder what Paul and Hillary can do for her. Spencer's wife is attempting to travel to Montana in the middle of winter in the 1920s without a viable train route, and Alex Dutton's new friends can't change that. There isn't enough time in 1923 Season 2 for the snow to melt, while Alex waits in Chicago and for her to complete her journey. The offer is a great comfort to her in a desperate time, but Paul offers Alex Dutton respite from her adventures. He doesn't offer her viable transportation to Montana. A key element of feedback about 1923 Season 2 has been that the show wastes precious time ahead of the Dutton family's impending war, including the time it has taken to get Alex and Spencer to the Yellowstone ranch. Meanwhile, Alex has encountered a series of less-than-ideal circumstances on her journey, prompted by her separation from her husband in 1923 Season 1's finale. Still, up to Only Gunshots to Guide Us, Alex was on track to complete her journey, but that changed in Episode 5, with Paul and Hillary taking Alex to Winnetka. I realize this is a necessary development for Alex, but it concerns me. She doesn't have enough time to make it home now. Watching the timeline for 1923 reminds me a bit of Taylor Sheridan's 1883 prequel, because it's similarly hard to believe the characters will reach their Oregon destination as the series nears its end, and that's because, for various reasons, they don't. My concern is that, similarly, while we're waiting for Alex's golden ticket home, she's right where she needs to be because she doesn't make it to Montana. Alex could still make it to Montana, potentially with Paul and Hillary's help, but it will be a stretch at this point. Alex can't travel to Fargo by train because snowdrifts have accumulated on the tracks, and no amount of wealth that Paul and Hillary have can change that. The British couple might have a car, but I don't suppose they would drive Alex to Montana themselves, and even if they could, I presume the snow still poses an obstacle due to the condition of roads and cars at the time, which weren't as sturdy or reliable. Paul could have some unforeseen connections. He could be involved in Chicago's booming meatpacking industry and could be sending a truck to Montana that Alex could hitch a ride with. There's also a chance the snow will melt quickly and Alex can book it to Fargo. However, more time on the train and a connecting journey from Billings to Bozeman seems like a stretch, even with 1923 Season 2's massive finale. While some time-lapse magic could ultimately see Alex reunite with Spencer in a rushed and serendipitous 1923 affair, there isn't enough screen time to show her full journey now. There's something about Alexandra Dutton that makes her impossible not to root for. Maybe it's her fiery spirit, the way she abandoned the trappings of aristocratic society to chase love across the seas with Spencer Dutton. Or maybe it's the fact that, in a world carved by dust, danger, and destiny, Alexandra dares to dream of a different kind of life. And in 1923 Season 2, Episode 5, when she finally receives a sliver of good news, finally, a weight lifts, if only for a moment. But even as I watched her eyes light up with cautious hope, I couldn't shake it. I'm still worried. Deeply, unshakably worried. Sure, she and Spencer have made it further than most couples would have in their place. Shipwrecks, lions, angry in-laws, and even the gaping distance between continents couldn't separate them for long. In Episode 5, it finally feels like they're beginning to win. There's talk of a future again. A reunion with the Dutton family seems close enough to touch, but this is 1923, a Taylor Sheridan production, and if there's one thing we've learned about this universe, it's that no one is ever safe. So while I celebrated Alexandra's good fortune along with everyone else, a little voice in my head whispered, "It's too good to be true." First off, let's look at the nature of the good news. Spencer and Alexandra, stranded for much of the season, finally appear to be inching closer to Montana. Their path is still riddled with obstacles, but there's a clear sense of progress. She survived both emotional and physical shipwrecks, losing everything but her love for Spencer, and even that was nearly torn from her in the chaos of bureaucratic meddling and social expectations. For once, Episode 5 lets us breathe. But breathing is dangerous in this show. What makes Alexandra such a compelling character is also what makes her vulnerable. She doesn't belong in this world, not fully. She's not built from the same rugged, weather-worn fabric as the Duttons. She doesn't carry the scars of generations raised to fight for land, legacy, and survival. Her battle is different. It's about choice, about love over obligation, about passion over protection. And in a world like 1923, those ideals don't just make you stand out, they make you a target. Alexandra is too radiant, too hopeful, and in Sheridan's Frontier, hope often meets a tragic end. Let's not forget how brutal the storytelling in this universe can be. In 1883, we saw Elsa Dutton, the heart and soul of that journey, fall just as she found her place in the world. In Yellowstone, tragedy seems to stalk anyone with an ounce of sentimentality. That's the Sheridan signature. Give you a character to love, then watch as life takes them apart. Alexandra, with her open heart and fierce loyalty, practically glows with the kind of energy that makes a viewer nervous. Even her relationship with Spencer, as strong as it is, feels haunted by the inevitability of pain. Their chemistry is electric, their bond deeply romantic, but we've seen time and again how love in the Dutton family often ends in heartbreak. There's a fragility to their dream, as if one wrong step could collapse the whole fantasy. And we haven't even factored in Montana yet. Let's say they do make it back. Let's imagine, for one blissful moment, that Spencer and Alexandra arrive on the ranch and fall into the Duttons' embrace. That's not the end of the struggle, it's just the beginning. Spencer is a soldier-turned-hunter. He carries grief like a second skin. His family is at war with powerful enemies. The land is bleeding. The Duttons, under siege from all sides, are bracing for something catastrophic. Into this chaos walks Alexandra, beautiful, foreign, and untested in the brutal rhythms of the West. Will she be accepted? Will she adapt? Or will the land break her? It's not just the environment she must contend with. There's family drama looming. Will the other Duttons trust her? Will they see her as Spencer's salvation or a distraction from the battle at hand? Loyalties run deep on the ranch, and outsiders, no matter how well-intentioned, often find themselves in over their heads. Alexandra has never faced anything like the politics, blood feuds, and generational wounds that thrive in Montana soil. And there's another, quieter fear. What if Alexandra's arc is meant to mirror that of Elsa Dutton? A bright, bold woman who falls in love, defies convention, and ultimately pays the price for living too freely in a world that punishes such bravery. It would be very Sheridan to build her up, make us believe she's untouchable, only to shatter everything at the peak of hope. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really do. Alexandra deserves more than tragedy. She deserves the quiet life she imagines with Spencer, the one with children and fireside stories, and a home not ruled by bloodshed. She deserves to belong, not just to Spencer, but to the land she's sacrificed so much to reach.